Are you barefooters out there looking for a new place to shop, eat, and save? Are you sick of paying full price? Would you like to save money at the places you enjoy most? Well, here's a popular savings book that is full of coupons catered to your local area. It's called Save Around. This book is full of exclusive discounts to help you save money around your town. Yes, that's Save Around. You will save money at restaurants, department stores, cars, even flowers. When I take my family out, there are 7 of us. The average meal was about $110 to $140. Last time I took them out, and I'm holding a copy of the receipt right here, the check originally was $120. With the Save Around book, our meal cost $82 at a place we go to quite often. Who knew? And there are a few places we found that we are going to check out. View the books in your area before you buy. Go to freedomizerradio.com or barefootislegal.org. Just click on your city, and within a few days, you will be saving money around town with your new Save Around book.
Welcome to Barefoot is Legal Radio, where you will learn the benefits and your rights to live a barefoot lifestyle. And now, here to empower you and dispel the myth of going barefoot, is a full-time barefooter of over 15 years and victim's legal advocate, your host, Nick Pierce.
Well, hello, and welcome back to another great episode of the Barefoot is Legal Radio Show. Welcome back to this Saturday afternoon. Again, we have another hour and a half of time together this weekend. And for those of you that may not know, I am a full-time barefooter of over 15 plus years. I got rid of the last pair of anything that goes on my feet at least over 12 years ago. I'm the head of NP Media Group. I did a radio show called The Business of Arts, Music, and Entertainment for a few years, where I empowered up-and-coming artists in their entertainment career to advance their business. I'm also a victim's legal advocate, standing up for the human rights that we as barefooters have, and also the head of the new Barefoot is Legal Legal Services Department. It's a tongue twister. Now, many of you have different reasons for going barefoot. For some of you, it may be for religious reasons, some of you for cultural reasons, others for health or medical reasons. Even though our reasons are different, there are people out there that think that there are laws, policies, rules, or even regulations, or the dangers about being barefoot in public. Well, whatever your reasons are, call in, share your stories. I want to hear your experiences, reasons, and issues that you've had. And if you want to be a part of the show today, the call-in number is 319-527-6208. Again, that's 319-527-6208. Press 1 to be a part of the show. And also check out our live chat room on freedomizerradio.com. You can interact with us, and also our website, barefootislegal.org. We have a Facebook page and our Facebook group, again, Barefoot is Legal. You can interact with other members of the barefoot community throughout and after our broadcast. Just join our group if you have not already joined, and you're a barefooter and you want to enjoy the lifestyle, you're thinking about getting involved in the lifestyle, we're here to support you. Again, on Facebook, Barefoot is legal. Now, keep in mind, though, this is a closed group. This is not a fetish community. So for you heavy-breathing fun seekers out there, this is not a place to get your rocks off of foot pictures. No. We are here to educate and empower you to live a barefoot lifestyle. So with all that said, now it's time to kick off your shoes, if you're wearing any or still have any at all, and enjoy the next hour and a half of time we have together. Again, to be a part of the show, 319-527-6208. And we also have Proof with us, co-hosting. Hello, Proof. How are you this Saturday afternoon? Beating back ISIS and, staying alive. Weather's actually quite beautiful in my neck of the woods this time.
Yeah, it's supposed to be in the mid-70s, but there's a chance of rain here, so it's all good.
Nice and sunny so far here. So when I'm done in the studio today, my cat and I Magic, we're going out for a walk in the park. So
I think I need to bring 4 leashes. I need to buy 4 cat leashes. Yeah, one for each cat.
One for each cat. Well, that's great. Or you just kind of one follows the other. You can get that working.
So anyway, what great topics do you have for us today? Obviously, when people hear my name in here, some are happy, some cringe because they know that I like to talk about activism, and I like to talk about really getting involved.
Yeah, no, that's what we're about, though. I mean, we're here to spread the word that being barefoot in public is legal, it's clean, it's healthy, and there's different reasons for it. And I've noticed that the U.S. Pretends to be one of the most tolerant of all other cultures and beliefs, even gender and sexual orientation. But it's there's a lot of idiotic people out there that still think that there's something wrong with people for being barefoot in public, and what I say to that? Well, it's an old, ignorant, and prejudiced mindset that sheeple have programmed in their narrow-minded brains over all these years. And we're here to dispel those myths. As far as what I have cooking for the show today, there is a new episode, another segment of How We Handle Them. It's called Don't Beg for Shoes. And I've also been going through the hate mail. You may think that people cringe when they hear your name, but I've been going through some of my hate mail, and I pulled out a wonderful letter that I'd like to share on the air maybe after our first or second break. I'm sure it's going to be quite amusing, and so it's going to be quite interesting.
Well, that sounds like fun. I thought I was the only one that gets hate mail.
No. When you're in the host's hot seat, and you get quite a few listeners after a while, and you built up some momentum, they start crawling out of the woodwork. And I get maybe about 10 a week, which is nice. At least I know people are paying attention. And it's almost like whenever you do something really great, people just love it and go along with it. You don't hear much about it. But as soon as you say something that they disagree with, they want to come after you and give you a piece of their mind. So I figured, okay, that's fine. I'll give them I'll let them have their fun and give me a piece of their mind, but I'm going to dish it right back. You know that.
I would never have guessed.
Yeah, as if I'm not a little outspoken. So, which brings me to a point that you brought up. All these sheeple that think that they're, they have these narrow-minded mindsets about, what we do and stuff. Well, they're up for a rude awakening. And for those that think that you can continue to get away with the prejudice and judgment towards someone just because they're barefoot and treat them like second-class citizens. Well, they're just like any other member of society. So to deny them the service or goods that you offer, you got to get ready because we're building up momentum and you're up for a rude awakening. And there's going to be a reality check soon, Proof, and that's what we're here for. And these corporate stuffed shirts with empty golf bags that think they're going to stay in business by discriminating against someone because they're, prejudiced against barefoot for health, religious, cultural, or medical reasons, as we always say every day on the show, well, they better be ready. Their shameful behavior and practice will not be tolerated, and we will begin to prosecute. And that's why we're here.
I think so. Well, obviously, I would endorse that, being the CEO here of these neck of the woods.
That's true. And, Proof is with us today on the air, the head of the Freedomizer Radio Network, and also the founder of the Barefoot is Legal community. And I know that you got a couple things that you're doing. You have some contest ideas, and you're working on a get-together or conference out there. You have any updates on that you want to share with us and our members that are listening?
I'm still working on the whole get-together for Vegas, so we'll be planning that out shortly here. We did have a little local meetup here. We had a few members come out yesterday. We went to a place called Blaze Pizza. I guess one of the big trends across the country is going to places that make 90-second pizzas. 90-second pizzas. Is that after the dough is tossed, or do they just pull it right out of a freezer? I don't know. We do have some pretty. No, what it is they have the fresh dough there, and it's all one price, and you choose whatever toppings you want to go on said pizza, and then they cook it, and in 90 seconds it's done.
Interesting. Do they use like a crematorium or like a flamethrowers to do that?
Like 800 or 900 degrees.
Wow. And that gives a new meaning to putting bodies in a pizza oven. That's one way to dispose of them. So.
But yeah, that's kind of popular at least out here it is. There's 3 or 4 different places here that I know of that have multiple locations that do that kind of thing.
Interesting. Yeah, we have, we got a couple places around here that do quick pizza. I don't know if it's that fast. I know that there's a place called Rapid Fire Pizza, but
that's probably along the same lines.
Probably, yeah. It sounds it. So, and then we also have.
I just find it funny how a lot of people out there, they will say, "I wish I could do that," but then they never do. I don't understand. And maybe we had this discussion yesterday that maybe I scare people away because I'm not just all talk. I actually do things. And
maybe
the average person feels like they're called out because they know that they're not doing anything, and I make people feel bad for not wanting to do something for whatever reason.
Interesting. And that's what's nice about radio. You really can't scare too many people away just by looks alone. So that's a good thing. But I guess once you get out there and, we push for our members to be active and, support the movement and, spread the message. And sometimes people just want it handed to them. Sometimes they don't want to get out there and work for it. They think they're entitled to it, and everything's going to change if they just sit back and watch and let people do the work. Yeah, so when Columbus discovered America, allegedly, look at all those people that supported him by going back to their house and not saying anything. And if Columbus would have just waited for somebody else, we would have a completely different country here. That's true. But, we can't just sit around and wait for something to happen. People got to get out there and they got to be active about it. And the group itself, you do an amazing job running the group, and just the amount of resources that we've accumulated over the past year to support our position and what we're trying to do. There's a lot there for people to use and take advantage of. Everything from letter writing that Nick Deutschman does to now our legal service team and we got the 800 number. People can call. They can go to the website, file complaints, and there's a lot there that we can do for them to stand up for them and advise them and guide them through what they should do. And it's like I mentioned in an episode a couple weeks ago. If you're discriminated against because of a medical condition, there's a form. It's like 11 questions on the ADA's website in the U.S. Department of Justice. Fill it out. The fines for businesses that want to discriminate. I mean, they're anywhere from $50,000 to $75,000 just for the first offense. Businesses are going to change their mind once it starts costing them money, and they start losing business.
But I guess the issue is, though, that we have to do this as a group, because if only one person fills that out and nothing's ever followed up on it, then I guess if a company feels like if they don't respond, then that person's going to forget about it, and then they'll just come in next time however the store wants them to come in.
Yeah, and that doesn't work that way.
If enough people complain, then obviously people in corporate offices will have to attend the letters. They'll have to attend to them and actually give responses, because if you as a one person and you're using your email address as sexylatina69@gmail.com, they're going to just not respond, and they'll, we didn't see it, we don't care. That's okay. We're still right. But if not only are they getting 50 emails a week from people like us, but we also have a legal team from the Barefoot is legal.org, then things start changing, because they
Exactly.
can't hide that random 1 or 2 letters a year that they get from people. But
it becomes more noticed.
And that's part of, you have to stand up for your freedom, because if you don't care enough to tell anybody and you just run home and look online to see whatever the barest possible flip-flops you can wear is, then you've already lost.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like for me, my opinion with barefoot sandals, and I know that there's a lot of people out there that like them. It's almost like just put something on so that you can still walk around without anything on your foot. But, the thing with just trying to fool them, it still keeps that.
That's not what that I don't care one way or the other. Some people look at it as jewelry. I'm not here to say one is better than the other, but I'm talking about just slapping a piece of rubber under you, just so a store can approve you to give them your money.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think either way, barefoot is barefoot, and covering it up, hiding it, or conforming to whatever, and backing down for, is just not not beneficial, and it doesn't keep some traction going, and could kind of be a step back sometimes, in my opinion. I mean, it's jewelry and is decoration. It looks good, I guess. It's no different than any other type of footwear that someone wants to wear, but it's still not barefoot.
Well,
and we're not here.
I've seen others. What's funny? I've seen other situations at various call centers, though, that people have actually worn them in place of other shoes to work because they have a back on them. Somehow the back of the shoe is so important these days. Yeah,
imaginary superpowers.
Yeah, so forget about the bottom. It's the back of the shoe that's the most important. So I've known people that have gotten tired of getting yelled at for even wearing something that they consider dressy, and all you're doing is sitting at a desk all day, and you wear those. Oh, they have a back. They look cool. Go ahead. Go sit down and punch in.
And, it's funny because most of that dress code comes from, like, what people claim is safety and all that. It really gives them a false impression that there's some miraculous material that's going to save your life if, you have a back on the shoe or you have nylons or something on it. I know you mentioned before, and you always use that analogy of the file cabinet falling on someone.
That's what
ceiling tiles.
If you go to an average call center or office USA, there are 3 things that people will mention as to why you need whatever the shoe rule is. One, they will say that these filing cabinets, which you will need a whole team of people and a crane to lift and to move and a forklift, they're going to all fall on you, or they're going to use the glass issue, which there's no glass being sold or transferred in the building, or there's staples on the ground, which at my call center, even the managers don't have staplers on their desk. So those three false obstacles, and then they try to back it up by saying that the health department or the insurance company says it's not okay. But there's a thing now with other jobs, and let me see if I still have this link up here.
It's funny that you mentioned these different offices, and this is for most places. I mean, I know that there are very lax dress codes and call centers and offices that are accepting to people that, you know, have different dress codes. I mean, especially now dealing with the millennials and all that. They're not the shirt and tie and, you know, companies. I mean, I've been to a handful of call centers, and they're pretty laxed about their dress codes. But you're right. There are some out there that, you know, that believe certain things, and sometimes they just don't make sense. And
so
like
I dropped the link on our freedomizerradio.com chat room powered by QuickChat, which doesn't seem to be pretty quick, but I guess it does the job.
Yeah. And is this the slippery take shoes off word? This may be the same one I was thinking of, but I'll double check it. There was a benefits company I was talking about that does payroll benefits and workers' comp for businesses.
No, that's different.
Okay.
This is
I was talking
that was
about
just one company. That was one company called Gusto out of Denver. And
Gusto.
And you're not allowed to even wear them in the building.
Yeah, they make you take your shoes off, and these people are $1 billion company, and they provide like the payroll benefits and workers' comp insurance. So you could imagine, like, if they're a workers' comp company and they're telling their employees to take their shoes off. It's funny how businesses will think that you know, they'll end up with a workers' compensation claim if someone gets hurt because they're barefoot. In reality, these people are underwriting these workers' comp policies, and they're requiring their employees to take off shoes when they come to work.
Yeah, so
and this,
I would love to see one of their media staff make it as an interview on our show. I think that would be awesome.
We should. I think we should definitely reach out to them. Joshua Reeves is the co-founder and CEO of that company.
Yeah.
And he was also an Eagle Scout and a high school athlete. So we'll definitely want to reach out to him, because I'm sure that there's a lot of questions for our listeners and you know, different folks that listen to the show that they may have when it comes to different workers' comp issues and stuff. And you know, I'm sure that they've probably heard those excuses before in their place of work, and that'd be great to pull them on the air just to get an industry inside.
So there's a movement, and that's why I shared the link there. Is that offices are now getting to the point where they're allowing people to sit at their desk and not have their shoes on all day, and they endorse that. Schools are now getting involved in the same, because they show that there's not as much tension and people are more relaxed and they're able to be themselves.
Yeah,
Whereas
I was talking about that last week.
Yeah, it's basically a lost cause to sit at a call center. And I've been to some of these that I've seen I've seen two. One was more drastic than the other, but they both had people walk around every hour or two and just look under people's desks to see what they're wearing and if they're wearing.
That's crazy.
And one of my things that I've said for years is that when it's more important to see what's going on under somebody's desk than what's going on above it, that's called a failed job.
Yeah. Managing things in all the wrong places.
Right. And places are losing money, they're hemorrhaging money, and they immediately go to the dress code because, the reason why we're losing money is because we're allowing people to wear this, and that, and we need to go back to suit and ties, and then we'll make money. But it's a call center where there's no Ustream involved here. There's no Facebook Live. You're just either doing data entry or talking to somebody on the phone. And if they don't like the company policy, it doesn't matter whether you're wearing a bathing suit or a suit and tie, you're not going to gain that business.
Yeah. And, there's been a lot of research, and I'm even glancing through this article, the link that you sent, and you can take a look at this article, too, if you're listening along and you want to follow along. Go to our chat room at freedomizerradio.com. And there's also been a lot of other articles, a lot of research done, not just in the field of students and learning in schools where they learn better because they are encouraged to take their shoes off, but also productivity in the workplace. And I've read quite a few articles about that and how, productivity's up, and they have a much better employee. They have less turnaround because employees are comfortable when they come into work, and if they're comfortable doing their job, they perform better.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing with learning. And last week I even touched about that, where there was quite a few schools that had different, they tried different things. They did multiple studies when it came to children and learning. And even people that have learning disabilities, they're more focused, so they can concentrate more and their comprehension goes up. And they also understand the topic better. So the research is out there. And if you go to our website, barefootislegal.org, you're going to see a lot of articles about that. So I encourage the listeners to go check that out. So.
I seem to have the cough today for some reason.
I can hear that.
I had some apple cranberry juice, and I'm, I don't know what's wrong here. I'll figure it out, but.
Well, we're about to go to break if you want to. That's okay. We're about to go to break if you want to rest your voice for a little bit. And today we have proof in the studio.
Just a heads up, our friend Stephanie from the earlier show, the Ready Set Sports, is going to call in. She said she will, so be on the lookout for it.
Yeah, we will. We'll definitely keep an eye on our switchboard for that number. And she does a sports show that broadcasts for an hour and a half before this one, and we're glad to have her on the air. So if you need your sports fix, that's where to get it. So tune in an hour and a half before the Barefoot is Legal radio show to get your weekly dose of sports. And Stephanie and Alex are the hosts of that, correct?
Yes, and Stephanie is obviously part of our BIL team.
Yeah.
So I always try to support what our members are doing.
Definitely, and that's important. And we always try to support our members, and especially encourage the cross-listening and cross-promote and all that. But we're coming up to the top of the hour. We're going to take a quick break. If you want to be a part of the show, 819-527-6208. And give us a call, join in. We want to hear from you. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
How would you like to make your work more enjoyable, be more creative and relaxed, all while sitting at your desk? That's exactly what my Serenity rug has done for me. This revolutionary footrest, I can't even call it a footrest because this thing encourages movement of your feet, which results in more blood flow. While traditional footrests advocate the motionless placement of your feet, I found that I'm unconsciously digging my feet into the long, soft grass strands of the Serenity rug. It delivers an incredibly relaxing sensation that closely resembles the feeling of an exotic foot massage. If you have ever had a foot massage that made you want to stay there for hours, you know what I'm talking about. If you have not heard about the Serenity Rug, check them out at serenityrug.com and join the exclusive Serenity Rug community and enjoy a feeling of comfort and relaxation that most will never experience. They've sold out before, so I suggest you do your feet a favor and grab one of these. Again, that's serenityrug.com.
Hi, everyone. Here is a sponsor that you can help save yourself some money and find new places to check out. Save Around is a very popular coupon book throughout most major U.S. cities. With Save Around, you get buy one, get one free restaurants, discounts on many department stores, car rentals, flowers, etc. With Save Around, you not only fund our network, you help fund your family and save yourself some money while eating out. I have a family of 4. A decent meal is upwards of $60 for us, and if I could save $10 to $15 while taking out the family, I am very happy. You can view these books in your area before buying. Please check out freedomizerradio.com and our barefootislegal.org website for the link. Check out the new book, click on your city, and in a few days you will be saving yourself some cash with your new Save Around book.
You know the Constitution like the back of your hand. You've read books, listened to podcasts, attended lectures, surfed websites, and watched videos. You've made liberty your life's goal, but something seems to be missing. Stickers from LibertyStickers.com. Exercise your freedom of speech with the world's most dangerous bumper stickers. That's LibertyStickers.com. But wait, there's more. You can buy Liberty Stickers wholesale. Get them for 99 cents each when you put 100 or more in your shopping cart in any combination. Sell them or give them away. They're great for gun shows, flea markets, fairs, outreach, and more. Earn extra money, promote freedom, and spread the word. Need custom stickers, labels, or decals for your organization or business? Liberty Stickers makes them. Go to LibertyStickers.com to order or call 877-873-9626. LibertyStickers.com, the world's most dangerous stickers.
Got a spare tire around that waist? Is your muffin top over the top? Do you binge eat uncontrollably? We are the government and we are here to help you. Here at our free FEMA weight loss camp, we have numerous ways to help you shed those unsightly, unwanted pounds. FEMA, or Fatties Eating Mitigated, automatically has a communist-style weight loss czar that specializes in centralized weight loss planning and communal extended fasting programs to shed that fat away in no time. Skin and boned means extra toned is the motto. Just remember, there is no way you can do it on your own. We will forcefully assist you into compliance. Failure is not an option in this utopian wonderland. How fantastic. Typical workout regimes include digging ditches and restocking them with dirt, building railways and more. Get life skills while you get lean. How do you join? Simple. Recite the Constitution in a public commons or violate the Patriot Act that includes simple misdemeanors. It's really that easy to get your own fenced-in slice of Americana. Stop being a fatty. The state is your daddy.
And hello and welcome back. And thank you for joining us for our afternoon, weekly broadcast of the Barefoot is Legal radio show. And again, I'm Nick Pierce, your host, with my co-host, Proof. And he also does his own radio show, The Proof Negative Show. So make sure you check that out. Before the break, we were just talking about how corporate America and all them have different prejudice towards the barefoot employee, the barefoot customer, and all that. And I also mentioned that I get a lot of hate mail. And I think we were talking about this briefly during the break, Proof. And anybody wants to be a member of the show, 319-527-6208. Press 1 to be a part of the show. And you get hate mail, Proof. You've had a lot of hate mail over the past time. Yeah. I have, like I said, I get maybe about 5 to 10 a week. And it's always great when I do. But there was one that stuck out in particular that, people hate my guts just because of what I talk about on the air. And that's fine. They can. It means I got their attention. It means that they're listening. And, I want to share one, though, if you want. I don't know. We got to, you know what? If I clean this up, it's not going to sound that good. It's going to lose some of its flavor. But this is a masterpiece. And I want to make sure that we have our beat button ready to go. Because this is, I'm gonna go through it, and wait till you hear this. I have never had such a letter like this, and to think that a business owner would actually write something like this and send it into a radio station is amazing. But originally I was just going to cut it down a little bit just to clean it up, but I'm not going to do that. So we have our beep button, and I'm also putting a delay on here just in case I slip so that one of my engineers can actually dump out some of the language that this guy writes. So I just want to go through this letter.
Just a heads up, as CEO here, you'll just bleep the name of the company, and if you want to give him a fake name, that's fine too. But
all right.
If somebody writes such hatred and it's not coming from us, but it's a quote, then we have the freedom to be able to share exactly what the context is.
Oh yeah, they were quite aware of where they were sending it and exactly what we do.
Yeah.
So we'll make sure that, and you got that. We're going to beep out the name of the company, and they mentioned the location, so just be ready for that. And I also gave a copy of it to my engineer here so that they can follow along just in case. And I'm going to keep a fairly steady pace on this. We're going to get our delay fired up, and no, we're not going to tell you how long our delay is, because there are trolls out there that want to call the show. Once we tell them how long we broadcast on a delay when we do stuff like this, they'll start counting and they'll be ready to squeeze right in. So don't even get it. Don't get any ideas out there if you want to call in. Yes, we are going to throw this on a delay. We are going to beep some stuff out. And here we go. Let me just get the letter here. I have it now in my hands.
Okay.
All right. Here goes. So here we go. Word for word. Greetings, Nick. First, I would like to congratulate you as the new host of the Barefoot is Legal radio show. I myself am a small business owner. I founded my company in 1998 called, and now have 5 locations throughout the. I'm very sorry to hear that you feel that businesses have some animosity towards your people. Yes, that's what he said. As a business owner, I do everything I can to get people in my door. However, I want my customers to present themselves in a respectable way as to make my customers feel comfortable in my establishment. I do not want men in sleeveless shirts. I do not like tattoos. I think people with body piercings are unclean, and gay customers make me gag if I see them touch or even get too close together. You may not know what I have had to go through every day just to make money. In the past year, I had to build a new ramp to make accommodations to people in wheelchairs and restripe my parking lot to make room for van access, $3,000. Cost of ramp, $2,300. I had to fix 2 refrigeration units because the food was not being held at a proper temperature that was in accordance to the health department, which cost me over $8,000. I had to it actually says here I had rebuild displays, but I think he meant I had to rebuild displays in all my locations, 5 of them, to keep peanuts and other nuts away from our products because of peanut butter allergy, and in quotes, capital letters, nuts. $600 per location, totaling $3,000. The list never ends. Not to mention chip card terminals at all my registers that I am still paying for just to make money. Do you really think that I have to make another accommodation just so you can celebrate your gods, or parade around to make people feel sorry for you because you cannot wear shoes? Now, that is crazy, folks. How much money does one need to spend to be burdened with the financial responsibility that comes with this now? This is the biggest batch of bullshit ever. I need to make money, not lose it to morons that cannot fucking walk. And need electric chairs to run over people in my aisles. Food segregation so peanut pussies don't swell up and block the aisles like the fat welfare fucks that fill their carts with pop and chips once a month. Okay. Now, Mr. Fucking Know-It-All, give me one of your straightforward answers. How much is all the rhetoric you talk about going to cost a small business owner like you, I think it meant like me, to shop in my store? Can you save my location in that I may have to close in 2 months? And he ends it there. Well, that's very interesting. After all that, boy, folks, this guy is so far off left field. First, this does say a lot. Okay. First, where do you even start with this? See, first, I want to say only you can change your business. It starts with your attitude. You have the worst attitude towards your customers I have ever heard of. You know what? Honestly, there may be no hope for you. Your mindset, your mind is just set up for failure. As a gentleman, though, I will reciprocate congratulations on the success of opening 5 locations as a small business owner. But as far as all your expenses that you complain about, that's the cost of doing business. If you don't like it, close all 5. Forget about just one. Just take out all 5. My personal opinion of you, though, and I'm sure once my listeners hear this, they will agree, is that you really don't want to succeed. You impose your own standards on your place of public accommodation, but you think your customers are just some teenage daughter that you want to control, but yet you don't respect. Okay? Now, as far as your whole little story there, you want people in your store? Well, number one, the warmer weather is coming, my friend. It's coming around. And if you don't want people in sleeveless shirts in your store, see how successful your stores will be in the Arctic Circle or Antarctica. Yeah, open them up over there. Because, hey, there, even the penguins and puffins will dress up in tuxedos to raid your spoiled fish and your busted-ass coolers that your bitch complains about fixing. And all in the name of food safety. I know. You're in the food business. That should be your number one concern. Now, let's talk numbers, though. You seem like a man of numbers. You rambled off a lot of different figures in your letter to me. So let's start with the 61% of Americans between the ages of 18 and 40 years old that have tattoos. And if you don't like that, really, you don't want a slice of that American apple pie? And if you are so bent out of shape making your stores accessible to people that are in no shape to walk, for whatever their reasons are, then open up a crematorium. Just do it. And then you can light them on fire based on your attitude. See, why be bothered with them? Hey, you don't like people? Just light them on fire. That's what you should do. You should be in the cremation business, so you don't have to be bothered with it. But I will tell you this, Mr. ... Most of those people that are not able to walk or get around to your standards, and really they just want to eat food that you sell, have most likely fought in wars to defend your right to say such ignorant and hateful things that you have displayed on my show today. So I will let you know that. And I want to tell you one more thing. I hope you're listening, and I know my listeners are listening. As far as your perspective on what you call welfare fat asses that block traffic in your anorexic health food aisles, be glad that the government gives them money to shop in your store, because you already do not like 61% of the population, and adding another 34.5%, which is what the welfare population is right now, 34.5%. They are given money only good for the goods that you sell. And you want to toss them out? What does that leave you with? Now, already, you don't want, if we do the math, 95.5% of the population, you don't want them in your store, which leaves you with 4.5% of people you may do business with. And I say maybe, because here's the big one, my friend. Maybe because I'm sure that the other 4.5%, I'm sure that there's some gays in there. And I'm sure that they don't all receive welfare, and they don't all have tattoos. And some of them may even be underweight. So they're not blocking your aisles. However, you don't like their PDAs. So these underweight, homosexual, non-food stamp recipients that do not grab all of them, I think that maybe that'll average about 1% left. 1% that you may accept in your store. And if only 1% of the community that you hate shops in your stores, I got to tell you, you are fucked, my hate-filled friend. But to answer the question about your financial fear, if you have to let someone without shoes in your establishment, it's actually going to cost you nothing. In fact, in that model, you make money. Let's look at it this way. If you discriminate against someone for religious or medical reasons because they're barefoot, the cost to you are heavy fines, my friend. So take that and tuck it up your hate-filled ass. And with that, I am ready to move on with this one. Now, can you believe it? Actually, let me bring proof back on. Yep, and there you have it. Can you believe the audacity of him?
Maybe he thinks he's going to gain customers that way.
It doesn't sound it, but I'm sure we maybe straightened him out. And there we go. We've got some phone lines lighting up. I figured that would stir the pot a little bit. Just one of those hate-filled people. And there you have it. So, yep, that's not exactly how you're going to get business. Boy, does he have another thing coming to him. Want to take a caller about this? We got someone that wants to be on the air. And we're going to go to Laura.
Yeah, go ahead.
And let's see. We'll get her on the air real quick. So let's see. Maybe is she a business owner or is she on our side on this one? I figured someone's going to get a little twisted out there. Hello, welcome to the Barefoot is Legal radio show.
Hi, thank you. No, I'm not a business owner, but I swear I have a black belt in shopping, and I like to eat out. So whatever, I don't know if you touched on it, but is this guy nuts? Because, he was complaining about the cost of wheelchair ramps and refrigeration and blah, 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 blah. But has it occurred to him that it doesn't cost any money for us to walk around without shoes on our personal bodies? He's not a shoe store, obviously, or he wouldn't need refrigeration. So, if that doesn't make any sense. Does he not like people that come in there with brown eyes? I mean, that's how extreme he sounds. The man should not be in business. I agree with what you said. This man should, go sit under a rock and, I don't know, count the hair on his arms. But he most certainly shouldn't have a business. And it doesn't cost anything for a barefoot person to walk into a store. There's no special bare toe boarding, or he doesn't have to line his displays, or if it's a food establishment, he doesn't have to have Serenity rugs underneath his counters or tables. I mean, exactly. No one said, by order of, to be fair, we need Serenity rugs, and we need this, and we need that. He needs nothing. He needs an attitude adjustment. That's all.
Oh, yeah. And I'm hoping that did it for him. I'm hoping that was the attitude adjustment, because like I said, when I did the numbers, 61% of the population have tattoos. 34.5% of the population are on food stamps.
Right.
So if he doesn't want them in their store, he's eliminating 95.5% of the population that he doesn't want.
So he really should be an elitist private club. So he should spend more money and demand only tuxedos and go into like Newport, Rhode Island, or the hills at Beverly Hills, and Nob Hill in San Francisco, and only cater to the 1%. And guess what? Do you know how many multimillionaires, at least in the entertainment business, because that's what I am in, have tattoos and are barefoot and do everything like normal people do?
Yeah.
I think he's out of business, and he should be.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, definitely. Because if he doesn't want, if he wants to discriminate, it's going to cost him $75,000 right away for someone with a disability that he doesn't want in there.
That's right.
I mean, it's crazy.
It is crazy.
To think that,
I mean, this
and I don't
not
think
right
that there
in
would
the head.
be any elites. Yeah, no, definitely not. And I don't think there would be any elites in the upper 1% that would want to shop in a store with rundown refrigeration, bad fish, and whatever else he's got going on there.
Right.
So.
Right. Well,
I would love
you.
to see his. I'd love to see his face if one of the customers asked him if he had anything organic in there, because I bet you he doesn't.
It sounds that way, doesn't it? I don't think he would like organic people either. I have a feeling he's the type that just respects nobody. I agree. That would be funny though, to go in there totally tattooed, pierced, barefoot, and say, I would like some organic, like lawn grass or something. The guy would throw you out, probably. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, be shoved under his broken refrigerator.
Exactly. No, it's going to cost him $8,000 to fix. No. Yeah, he's in the wrong line of work. Mm-mm.
He is.
He should look up being a professional hermit.
Yeah, there you go. He should banish himself to the mountains of Siberia somewhere.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Well, thank you for being on the air, and stick around. You can listen to the rest of the broadcast if you just hang in there, and thank you for calling in.
Thanks. Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Well, there you have it.
Well, that was
and
cool.
we have our supporters, and I know that we have a couple other lines that have lit up. No one's quite ready to get on the air yet, according to our switchboard. But I figure that would definitely fire some people up. Seems to work.
I think
if anybody
so.
wants to be a part of the show.
Stephanie, if you want to be part of the show, just press 1 and I'll bring you in. Otherwise, I'll let you gather yourself.
There you go. And she's the host of the hour and a half before the Barefoot is Legal radio show. Runs the sports broadcast with her and Alex, I believe. And they'll give you your weekend dose of sports. So make sure to check them out before the Barefoot is Legal radio show right here on Freedomizer Radio Network. And if you want to be a part of the show, 319-527-6208. And if we want, Stephanie, I think she's ready to come on the air.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Stephanie, welcome to the Barefoot is Legal radio show. You got Proof and me here with you. And great show earlier, your sports show. Amazing. Great job. We love hearing it. And even if you're not a sports fan, it's something that you'll enjoy. It just kind of gives you a little bit about what's been going on that you probably missed all week. So,
yeah,
love the information you share.
We try. Thank you. Yeah, it was tuning into the show. I didn't.
Just before you get started, Stephanie, I just want to say to all the BIL members out there that I want to see people supporting our BIL staff here. So, of course, Stephanie is with us in the BIL movement and the group, and I just want to let people know that you're one of us and try to support each other.
Yes. Yeah, I'm actually a little late to joining in the show, so I hadn't pressed 1 right away because I didn't hear the heated topic, so I didn't have a in opinion, but I am definitely a part of the BIL group. So
anything and everything, and I know that we got started together with you in here with a lot of what the group is about too is teaching businesses about their silly dress code rules that I really would like to go on speaking engagements to and speak to businesses about this. And you and I have seen so many silly dress codes over the years, and they make it like that's the most important rule of the job.
I know. To me, I find it the most ironic thing. I've been sent home for dress codes, which is funny because I dress very professionally, but apparently shoes have to have backs or for various rules. And it's funny because I'm not a full-time barefooter or someone who does barefoot a lot. I don't have a problem with it, but for shoes for work, it is just so interesting, the rules that they have that they want to send you over when your shoes really have nothing to do with your job. Currently now I am a business owner, but I also work for someone else doing collections, and it's kind of nice because he looks at the work that I do. So when I'm at my desk on the days that I work there, I take my shoes off because it doesn't make sense to me to have shoes sitting in a chair for 5 hours. So I'm thankful that I'm in that position, but not very many people are. And it doesn't make sense when it really can hurt performance more than help it. So.
Yeah, and that's the point that we were trying to make. And we had a letter, some hate mail that you probably missed out on if you're just tuning in.
I did. I was hoping you'd go back over it. I was waiting to hear it.
Oh, yeah. It was a classic masterpiece. The guy pretty much just doesn't like anybody and wanted to know how much it would cost. If anybody missed it, they can go back in the archive. If you just go to Freedomizer Radio, just type in Barefoot is Legal. Take a look at today's show. It's available probably about an hour after the broadcast. And you can always go back and listen to it. I got to tell you, though, while reading that letter, even my response, my sound engineer was sitting there sweating like a karaoke DJ at a bad bar. He was hovered over that button and on that console like you wouldn't believe. I've never seen him sweat so much. But we had to dump quite a few things out. We even put on a delay here before I read this thing because I didn't know exactly how far I would take it on my response and my rebuttal back to this guy. It was pretty bad. So definitely, if anybody missed it, check it out in the archive. I don't think I'm going to reread it because it was a lot of work for my engineer here. Just because, we really have to bleep a couple things out. So.
Wow. So he's a bitter Betty. So that's okay. We call those guys bitter Betties. They're upset about everything. Unfortunately, some of them are set in their ways, and hopefully others will come around. That's all we can really hope for.
Yeah, exactly.
So Stephanie, I know that we discussed earlier, and I want to get working with you on this at some point, but I want to start working on the whole dress code and work thing and really that because I really would like to hit corporate America hard, and I don't know how to grab those people.
I think part of it, unfortunately, is the environment. So many corporate and business places, I feel, are like a culture. Like if you're an outsider in that culture, they don't really take it seriously. I've seen businesses where people are ridiculed for ridiculous things, and then I see guys go in and wear skin-tight pants and no socks in their dress shoes, and apparently that's acceptable now. So it's almost like if you don't fit into that, they don't really listen. So you have to almost be like you are one of them, like, yeah, I'm a professional. Let me show you that I dress just the same. I can handle myself the same. I can present myself in the same manner, and I don't necessarily have to wear shoes at my desk or specific shoes to be able to do the job you want me to do and exceed and excel in that position. So unless we can really come at it from that angle, like we are just as corporate or just as professional as they are, they're not going to consider it. And so many times, unfortunately, there are people who want to advance the BIL movement, but they do it by going in and maybe they're, I call them laundry clothes, like when it looks like it's maybe the least most appealing clothes you own because everything else you're washing. And they go out and they're cursing at people, or they're overly mad because they were asked to leave a store, and that doesn't promote a professionalism to where someone's even going to listen to you. So unless we can actually address that in the same manner, it's going to be a constant struggle, especially for the corporate arena, I feel.
Yeah, definitely. And Stephanie, you make a very good point. After this break, I want to hear some of your ideas. We're coming down to the bottom of the hour with a half hour left of the show. 319-527-6208 if you want to be a part of it. And Stephanie, it's pretty much just, our previous caller, Laura touched on that as well. But more on that when we come back. Stay tuned.
Hey, Freedomists, join me, Proof Negative. Weeknights, 9 p.m. to midnight Eastern, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific, as we fight the New World Order together. Right here on Freedomizer Radio, your exclusive home of the Proof Negative Show.
Solutions to delusions. How do you do this? Well, join me every Friday night on the Delusion Solution Radio Show from 6 to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time and 9 to 12 midnight Eastern Time right here on the Freedomizer Network, where we will be discussing and discerning the times by making sense of current events and bringing to light much-needed topics. Our calling number is 347-324-3704 to listen in. Watching with your ears and listen with your eyes. I'm your host, Tara Dawn, and I'll see you there.
Hi, everyone. This is the Rose Colombo. Be sure to tune in every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 10:30 to noon Pacific Daylight Time and 1:30 to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Justice Club on Freedomizer Radio. Grab a snack, grab a latte, grab a friend, or grab a stranger. I've been on the front lines for 25 years, and I've been labeled as the crusader for equal rights by the media many times. So join my crusade on the Justice Club at Freedomizer Radio every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 10:30 to noon Pacific Daylight Time and 1:30 to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Are you barefooters out there looking for a new place to shop, eat, or save? Are you sick of paying full price? Would you like to save money at the places you enjoy most? Well, here's a popular savings book that is full of coupons catered to your local area. It's called Save Around. This book is full of exclusive discounts to help you save money around your town. Yes, that's Save Around. You will save money at restaurants, department stores, on cars, even flowers. When I take my family out, there are 7 of us. The average meal was about $110 to $140. Last time I took them out, and I'm holding a copy of the receipt right now, right here. The check was $120. With the Save Around book, our meal cost us $82 at a place we go to quite often. Who knew? And there are a few places we found that we're going to check out. Here's what you can do. If you want to save that much money, view the books in your area before you buy. You can go to freedomizerradio.com and barefootislegal.org. Just click on the city, and within a few days, you will be saving money around your town with your new Save Around book. Go to freedomizerradio.com or barefootislegal.org. Click on your town and start saving money now. And welcome back. Our final break with our time together. And if you want to be a part of the show, 319-527-6208. And you're listening to the Barefoot is Legal radio show. Also with us, co-host, Proof. And we also have Stephanie, who runs the sports broadcast an hour and a half before the Barefoot is Legal radio show. So make sure you tune into that as well. And welcome back. And before the
thing, Nick, she's also one of our BIL management team.
Yes, she is. She's also part of the management team with Barefoot is Legal, and we're glad that she's doing her show and that she's a member of our group, because the more people we have involved, the better. And Stephanie was talking before the break, kind of remarking on exactly what one of our previous callers said, as far as the cost of business and, you know, overall, really, it's just the morale of employees when it comes to the dress codes and stuff, when it comes to corporate. And we didn't want to cut you off before the break, but, you know, we got to pay the bills somehow. So we're back.
Absolutely.
So take it away.
Yeah, well, we were just touching on how little shoes really affect someone's everyday job. There's very few jobs that actually require shoes. Not knocking the ones out there that do. I mean, I also do construction, and obviously I'm not going to go out and do concrete barefoot. But
lightweight
jobs.
Come on, builds character.
No.
I built a whole restaurant barefoot.
Hey, doing the prep work maybe, but I'm laying concrete and actually pouring it. I don't think I'm going to go out there without shoes on. It's not really that great for your skin, you know, but I mean, we're talking office jobs. If you work at a bank or you work sitting at a desk as administration or even a call center job, these jobs don't require specific shoe wear. Very rarely do they really even require clothing requirements, but unfortunately, common sense was not a gift for everybody. And there's people who go into work wearing very inappropriate clothing, and then we get these overly ridiculous guidelines, and it might be kind of why the reason some of these silly shoe requirements have started, but hopefully we can change them, because they are a detriment. You see people with leg issues on a regular basis from sitting in a chair and having the restrictions of their shoes having poor circulation. So hopefully we can get them to listen and at least understand that it shouldn't be a requirement. Let us kick our shoes off at our desk. I mean, come on. It's not going to make me type slower or faster by having shoes on. It just doesn't make sense. So.
Oh, Nick loves the stories of one of my friends out here that works as a teller at a Bank of America out here. And
Great
her
story.
boss said that, and by the way, they said this is the health department because there could be glass on the ground. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This one was the one with filing cabinets. And that's where I made a meme that our circle of people love that shows that because we have filing cabinets, that if you want to wear open-toed shoes, you're required to wear nylons with them. You can wear closed-toed shoes without nylons. But
are the nylons going to prevent from getting a paper cut or something? I don't even understand how that makes even a logical...
It's going to protect you from that big that big row of filing cabinets that needs a forklift, a crane, and several people just to move each.
Yeah, the invincible nylons. You know, that's a joke.
You know, gotta love those ones.
But how many people honestly believe this, and how many sheep just blindly follow it, and then they will go to other places and believe that that's a law just because of some other place telling them to do that.
In all honesty, unfortunately, the majority of society. And let's be real about it. How many people read the title of a story and comment on something before even reading what it actually is? Before even reading know the story, even knowing the facts, anything. But they already have an opinion. There's people who can tell you they have an opinion on whether you like them or not. The past and current president, people have opinions on these people for no reason one way or the other. They can't even tell you why they have the opinions that they have, but they have them. So... it's unfortunately people choose to live blindly. I guess that they're content with that. I don't know. I don't understand it. For me, I crave knowledge. I want to know things. Even if it doesn't pertain to me, I want to know something, anything. So it's, I would say a lot of them. I think a lot of people really probably do believe them, just like they believe you can't drive barefoot. I know my dad used to tell me that all the time, and I'm like, yeah, right. How can you even see in the car? That doesn't even make sense. Like, that's just dumb. So I would do it anyways. But, yeah, they believed it, that there's laws. You see people today comment all the time in our Barefoot is Legal group asking for proof that there's no laws in their states to drive or walk barefoot because people are telling them left and right that there are.
Yeah.
It's sheeple.
And I mean, sometimes some of the stupidity that we as barefooters run into, it's crazy because people do believe certain things, and some of the stupidity that you're confronted with is just absurd, and sometimes it just deserves a stupid answer right back. And that's what the How We Handle Them segment is. If we want, we can throw that one out there.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Yeah. The third installment of How We Handle Them. And now this is, we've been doing this for quite a while, and seems like it gets a lot of positive feedback. And by popular demand, every once in a while you're in a business and you're confronted by someone, and sometimes some of the stupidity that comes out of their mouth just need a stupid answer. And here's another installment of How We Handle Them before we run out of time today, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
And now it's time to play How Do We Handle Them?
Excuse me. Do you have any shoes?
What? Well, that's a silly question. Do you have any manners? Let me ask you this. Do you always ask customer for things when they walk into your restaurant? Is your manager here?
I am the manager.
They need to pay you more, so you do not have to beg customers for things. I know times could be tough, and if you sold shoes, I would buy you a pair if you need them. I'm ready to order. I think I'll have the veal saltimbocca with a side of penne and a glass of your finest plunger fathead Marlot. And there you have it. I hope that got your rocks off there. Another dose of How Do We Handle Them. So just some of the scenarios that run through our minds sometimes when we're confronted, and some of the stupidity that comes out of stupid people's mouths and the stupid answers to throw right back at them. So hope you enjoyed that one, folks. So anyway, Stephanie, Proof, we're back. And we have some time before the top of the hour. We were talking about, just some of the reasons why maybe corporate needs to adjust their policies when it comes to employees or even customers as far as their dress codes. So,
right.
We're talking about invincible nylon stockings and everything else.
Yeah, I've seen jobs, and I've been to jobs where they'll let you walk around, but you have to have nylons on at all times, and others will be so worried about your toes showing, and others will be worried about the back of your shoe for whatever reason, and then some will let you choose what side you can have open, but not both at the same time.
It is so funny.
Yeah, some will tell you
I hate policies.
You can only show
I've
three
been
toes.
sent home, so it annoys me.
Oh, I've been fired over it.
Yeah. Well, I've been told, like, I have to go home. Well, I've had one job, I kid you not, where I was a court runner, so I'm going back and forth from my office to court. So the only real requirement was to have sensible shoes because you're on your feet a lot, and a lot of times you're having to almost literally run. So I had particular shoes, but I had one pair that I even verified with my supervisor once on if they were okay for work, and I was given approval. And then, like, 3 months later, the same individual tried to write me up for my shoes and tell me I needed to go home and change them. I'm like, these are the same shoes you approved. Like, I bought them specifically for work, so no.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Like, I had to go to corporate. It was crazy.
And is there really any such thing as sensible shoes, really?
I mean,
I don't know.
Yes and no. Yes, to a point. Like, I'm not going to wear 4-inch heels for a job that I'm running back and forth to court for. So when I say sensible, I mean more like don't be ridiculous. But yeah, I don't know. To me, flip-flops or nothing is sensible in a job that I'm walking on my feet. So that's fine. But I don't really see a customer in that position aside from at court. But in that position, I do have to look somewhat professional. So. But, yeah, you can get written up for anything. Girls, you can get written up for being unprofessional for dresses because you showed too much cleavage. And in some situations, we can't help that. That's just the way God made us. So.
Yeah, just the way you're built. So.
Yeah. It happens every day.
Absolutely insane.
But we need to change it. So telling someone to go home to change their shoes when they're missing 4 hours of pay and you're missing 4 hours of a worker doesn't make sense.
And not only that,
but
if you have a phone job and the phone banks are 20 minutes in queue, is it really prudent to send home 7 of your 20 employees over something silly?
Exactly. Like, you're losing money by doing that. Or losing productivity, you're losing people on the phones, you're losing customers because they're not happy with their customer service. It's for a job with a person that never sees actually a customer because it's over the phone.
And even so, most customers in the United States wear some kind of open shoe, so wearing them should just be normal.
Yeah.
You would think.
I see women at the court that are employees that they wear like slip-on, open-toed type sandals or flip-flops when they're at their desk. And these are women who work for judges, so I don't see why a regular call center job has stricter regulations than a courthouse employee.
It would be like someone like Nick Pierce who has tattoos and he's not going to hide it. Telling a waiter, look, I don't want you serving me because you have tattoos on.
Mhm. Oh yeah, there's discrimination for that too.
Ridiculous.
I face that also.
Oh, as proven in the letter that the guy wrote to us, the hate mail that we had earlier in the segment. He did not like people with tattoos. He thought that people with body piercings were disgusting. He didn't like how people walked around in walkers, and he was going against people that are food stamp recipients because they load their carts and they're fat and you name it. He went off on them, and we straightened him out.
Yep. Oh, I don't doubt it. I've had people try to want to write me up for my nose ring. I don't have large piercings, but I do have a few. I have a nose and a tongue. But I've had them try to write me up or tell me I need to remove them when I've had them for. I've had them for years. I've had them since I was in my early teens and 20s. So well before I had these positions, I wore them during interviews intentionally so that they know that I have these. It's not like a secret that I'm trying to hide once you hire me, and then I'm going to be like, oh, by the way, look, I have this nose ring. But they, I guess, just don't pay attention to it and then try to use it as a scapegoat later. So it's always interesting to get those ones
and
as well.
There's a very interesting law that has to do with that, whereas if you have something and you're hired, then
you're allowed
that's
to wear
the way it is. You're allowed to wear
it.
And there's another organization called the Church of Body Modification that actually has people that go to court and defend people because of body piercings, tattoos, and other modifications that they have for their body. which is very interesting. And they're almost doing the same thing that we do when it comes to the barefoot activism, when it comes to the, barefoot is legal.
Can you see if you could? Can you find somebody that's a member of that group and have them on as a guest? Because I would love to learn more about that.
Yeah. I've actually had a couple contacts over the years with different people. I know that there's a guy named Reverend Rodchek or something like that, who's I think part of the Midwest. I have lost touch with them over the years, but I would definitely want to reconnect with them to see what kind of opinion they have and connect and probably even compare notes, because you never know.
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. And me, I have tattoos, I have body piercings, I walk around barefoot. And, I'm kind of versed in the civil rights and the discrimination thing. And it's funny, you say you work in the court system. I've been to court many a times. I've been before many judges barefoot. In fact, there was a funny story where there was an incident that happened with one of my neighbors, and the whole thing went to court. And I think I posted about this in the group. It was one of those funny stories where something happened to my vehicle, and it was kicked. My neighbor got a little mad and decided to lash out one night, and there was an altercation, and the whole thing went to court when the cops showed up, and my neighbors testified against him, and I was sitting there in court, and I was barefoot, and his defense attorney looked at me and said, "Is it possible that maybe you did it to set him up?" And I lifted up, I put my foot up on the stand. And I said, for 15 years, I have not had a pair of shoes, and the footprints that are on the side of my car came from a boot or a shoe. She goes, is it possible that one of your friends was out in the parking lot that did that to you? I said, if any of my friends were out in the parking lot, they'd be subpoenaed as witnesses in court. What's the point of your question? The judge looked at that. My bare feet were an alibi against her theory in court. I've been to many courts. As a victim's legal advocate, I've gone up against a lot of different things, and every courtroom I've been into, I've been barefoot, and it's never been an issue. And it's funny because that one instance was
saved you.
How is that possible, Your Honor?
Yeah, that's funny. Well, our courts here, there are actually rules that do not allow bare feet in the courtroom. You can wear them into the courthouse. Don't get me wrong; they don't exclude you from public buildings, because we all know that. That's illegal because it's a public building. But you can go into the areas where you can pay tickets in the lobby. But to actually enter the courtroom, they have a sign on the door that says shoes are required to enter.
But then it runs into where people have to remove their
medical
headwear when they come into a court. Because what happens with that is it's been challenged so many times against, I think it started way back in Manhattan somewhere many years ago, where a Pakistani had to remove his turban in court. And the judge actually ended up getting prosecuted for a civil rights violation for making him do that.
Unfortunately, we live in I live in California, which is crazy because it's California. So everything is usually trending modern and new and going with changes. And this area is a very old, set in its ways kind of area. It's a small valley area. But it's very minority based too. So it's like the 1% and then everybody else down below. But in the courts I've seen judges throw people in contempt for wearing sunglasses on their head. Instead of not having them resting on top of their head, they see it as a sign of disrespect. But we've had judges go through disbarring issues and stuff, and our sheriff's office being corrupt here. So I think maybe, I don't know if they really enforce it, because I've seen people walk in, so I'm assuming they must let you, because you can't violate someone's the Disability Act. So if they're doing it for that reason, you can't require them to wear shoes even if it is a courthouse. But
exactly, yeah. When it falls into the realm of religion, yeah, they may have the sign up, but when it falls into the realm of religion, cultural, or medical and all that, or even just for health, personal health, they can't discriminate against that.
The major issue with that, though, is that not enough of us have stood up yet to say something. So when enough of us decide that we've had enough and we've become a big enough group, then all of this could be challenged a lot better. But when you're only
Right.
When you're the only one in your city that is going to challenge that for the entire year, they feel as though they have more weight. But as more people decide that they've had enough, then we win.
Part of that's going to be with our approach too, though. How, like we said earlier, how many people do we see going in their laundry best with an attitude, yelling at people and thinking they're going to get a better outcome, or that someone's going to be receptive to their side of the argument?
Well, let
that's
me
just
ask
it.
you
It's all on how we present it.
And let me just mention too, Stephanie. Out of all the restaurants you've ever gone into and you wore flip-flops or whatever and kicked them off, how many times have you ever in your life been yelled at for that?
I've honestly, until joining this group, I never even thought twice about that. I hear people talk about getting yelled at for taking their feet out of their flip-flops, and I just kind of chuckle at myself because I do wear shoes. Don't get me wrong. I am a shoe wearer. I'm not a full-time barefooter. But if I'm in flip-flops or sandals or whatever, I don't wear my shoes underneath the table. I half the time kick my feet off and I cross one leg underneath the other leg. So I take my shoes off so I don't get my pants dirty.
Point. That's my point when eating somewhere or whatever. That nobody cares.
I don't even think that anybody would look at somebody else's feet while eating. Like, in all honesty, like I'm not going to look at the next table over and be like, do they have shoes on? No, I'm looking at my table and I'm looking at the people that are serving my food to make sure that they wash their hands or that they're doing their job and bringing me whatever is supposed to come to my table. Like, I'm there for my own experience. I would hope that everybody else is there for their own experience. But it sounds like we just have some freaking nosy Nancy's out there that just want to be in everybody's business.
It's just funny that there will be some restaurants where you're holding your high heels because it's 2 a.m. and you're in Vegas.
I've done that.
And,
I've walked home barefoot with heels in my hands, and I don't care. I'm not going to wear paper bags on my feet.
What I'm trying to get at here is you'll have a restaurant say that, I know this table is right behind me that I'm going to seat you at, but you need to put them on just so you can walk 5 steps to this table and then you can kick them off.
We've been inside clubs before, and they were like, you have to put your shoes on. And I'm like, well, then I'm going to leave. Because I was just tired of shoes at that point, and I had taken them off. But I'm standing in one place, so it's like, what am I going to break? What am I going to step on? I mean, I've got a better chance. If someone's going to step on my foot, whether I'm in shoes or barefoot, so it's still going to hurt anyways. Yeah, they're ridiculous. The rules are silly. I think they just, half of the time people are on just power trips and wanting to control a situation. And then when people get upset and start yelling and react, those people don't budge, and then they overly try to enforce their power, and it just becomes a power struggle. So we just have to keep our cool and turn these people around one by one. But that again goes with fitting into that environment a little bit, so that they do listen and realize that, hey, we are being ridiculous. You hear the words coming out of our mouth, because they do, and they think we're dumb. So
Speaking of
exactly.
words, I know we have less than a minute to get out of the building here.
Yeah, and our show's almost done. And, of course, I'd like to thank all of our guests. Stephanie, congratulations on your radio show that comes on before the Barefoot is Legal radio show. Check them out an hour and a half before. And Proof, we've come a long way. We've had a great time this week. Stephanie, thank you for calling in. Thank you to all the callers, Laura, and all of our listeners out there. And we'll be back next week. Make sure you check us out on the website. And that's barefootislegal.org. Until next time, we are out of time, folks.